we are seeing inflation raising too high now.
Oh
if your
my
money is
goodness.
not growing, it's going to be eroded. If you have 100,000 today, in 3 years, you'll need more money to actually get the same quantity of goods that you would have maybe bought in this particular year. So moving your money through time means invest it today, so that by the time you need it in the future, it still has the same value or even more value, so that you don't have to worry about moving your money through time by investing it. So invest your money, don't just save it.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Kenganda Business Podcast, where we talk about everything business and finance and investments. And today we have an awesome guest, and she's going to introduce herself and the company that she's representing, and we hope that this helps you.
Thank you so much for hosting me today. My name is Sharon Tumushabe. I'm the Vice President Advisory at Xeno Investments. This company is based in Uganda, and we help people to plan, save, and invest for their financial goals. So I'm very excited to be hosted today on this show.
I found out about this through my friend Pauline, and I was really excited. So I hopped onto one of the things, which is the emergency fund. So that's one of your goals on Xeno. So can you tell us the other goals that are under Xeno that can actually help these people to save and invest, and anything in relation to that?
Yeah, so what Xeno does is goal-based investment. So we've seen people do investments in different ways, but we believe that if a person has a goal in mind at the point of investment, it becomes very easy for them to attain that goal.
That's true.
So goal-based is whereby a customer has a goal in mind. So if your goal is emergencies, if your goal is building wealth, planning for your retirement, building that dream home, it could even be as small as owning a car.
Yeah, that's
so depending on what your goal is, Xeno is able to understand, get to learn what your constraints are, what your goals are, how much you want to invest for, how long, and then we give you a tailor-made solution that helps you reach that financial goal.
Wow, perfect. Yes. And it also helps us to actually set our minds. You know, when we set our mind and focus, we can actually do these various things and have a bigger picture of everything.
Yes.
So basing on the Sustainable Development Goals, I know no poverty is something that Xeno is trying to tackle. Can you give us some other Sustainable Development Goals that Xeno is respecting?
Actually, when you come to the SDGs, we have 3 of those that we are actually attaining as Xeno. Of course, no poverty. Yes. We also have economic growth. So through here, we provide capital, because we are licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. So we get savers to actually save money. Then Xeno makes this money available for investments through fixed deposits. So when we do these fixed deposits with the different banks, we are providing capital for companies, organizations, or individuals that want to deploy this capital and make an investment. So then you find that we get the savers and then make them providers of capital in the economy. So
wow,
then
that's
there,
really smart.
yes, and then we also lend to government, because government is able to give services to the citizens, and they borrow money. So Xeno then comes in to do fund management. So we collect all this money from different investors, and then we pull it together and then go ahead and invest it in the economy. So then there we are also contributing to the economic growth.
Yes. So basically, all of us who are under Xeno are investors.
Yes, you are investors. And should you put your money with Xeno, this money grows on a daily basis, because once money comes in today, we go ahead and invest it using tax-efficient unit trust funds, and these are licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority.
What about the fluctuations that happen here and there?
Yeah, so of course, when you're making investments, we don't know what the future is going to be like. Making an investment, you're actually taking risk.
A risk, yes.
And you're believing that the future will give you some returns. So depending on what assets you're investing in, so for example, we give you access to both low risk, low return, we give you access to high risk, high return. And in this case, when I say low risk, when I say low risk, it means you're lending money. So if you lend to government, if you're doing fixed deposits, that's low risk. And the returns are also low. And then on this other side, you're able to invest in shares of companies that are listed on both the Ugandan Securities Exchange, but also across East Africa. They're able to give you exposure to the Nairobi Stock Exchange, Dar es Salaam, and Rwanda. So it's any money that comes to Xeno, it's actually invested.
Oh wow! So it's also the East African community is entirely involved in this,
Exactly.
meaning a broader range for all of us to have a win-win situation.
Yes.
Okay, that's really awesome. So most of our viewers are in the diaspora, and they're men, and of course, how men and money, yeah, and investments. So how can someone in the diaspora actually make use of Xeno? Like, for example, if they want to invest back home, is there a way that you can work with them as well?
Yes, so we have built a web platform, and the main basis here is that from wherever you are, this is available on the web. You just go to www.myxeno.com, which is myxeno.com, and from wherever you are in the diaspora, whichever country you're in, provided you have internet, Xeno has made it very easy for you to have access to invest in financial assets. So you don't need to be here physically. All you need to do is get onto the platform. You select a goal you want to invest for. We get to know your circumstances, what your targets are, what your goals are, what kind of returns you're chasing. We give you a tailor-made investment plan that then you go ahead and invest for. We just need your ID. So you need to have a government-issued ID.
Yeah.
You need to have your photo that is clear. You need to have an address. And then the last one that is very important is we need to know your income sources. How are you getting this money?
Okay,
Yes.
so an ID, that means, what about the people who are abroad? Can't they use maybe like their passports or something?
Yes, any government-issued ID.
Oh,
In this
alright,
case, I
okay.
mean passport, driver's license, or national ID. Provided it's issued by the government, we are able to take it as a form of identification. And once we look at your account, we verify it, we go ahead and activate, and you're able to start tracking, and you're able to also invest money, provided you're able to wire it back home. So the different ways of sending money back here, you can either use mobile money, you can use
about
bank
Wild
transfer.
Remit and
Yes, Wild Remit.
SendWave.
Yes, SendWave, provided you are sending it directly to the custodian account, which is in Stanbic Bank.
Yes, so Sharon, I saw recently that you actually partnered with the Ministry of Gender in Uganda. So tell us about that. Congrats.
Okay, thank you so much. So I happen to be the executive director at Kalekeka Some Foundation.
Nice.
And at Kalekeka Some, we launched the Girl Champion Awards that are going to happen this year. So Ministry of Gender partnered with us, and it's really a big one. And it will be celebrated on the 11th of October, on the International Day of the Girl Child.
Wow. I really love the fact that our ministries, especially gender, of course, they're embracing affirmative action, to make up for the past injustices for the girl child, to help them be on a pedestal as well, to have opportunities and all these things that can help them to grow. So what ethos sets you apart from your company ethos that set you apart from your competitors?
Okay, maybe I'll start with the Xeno's vision.
Yes.
Okay, so our vision is to impact 20 million people on the African continent. And we believe that by helping one individual learn to invest, plan, save money, and they're financially independent, we know that for each person that we are impacting, they have 4 other beneficiaries that they're supporting. It could be their mother, their children.
True.
So we know for each one Xeno customer, we're impacting on 4 lives. And we believe that if we continue doing this and making investments available and making sure that we are helping people to become more financially literate and more financially prepared for their different financial goals, it will go a long way to impact on more lives.
That's true. You talked about the goals. That means someone has to put in their money into that. So how do you guarantee your clients' deposits?
Okay. So it's very interesting, actually. Somebody out there would have a question like, why would I trust Xeno?
Exactly.
What's my security? What happens to my money? So what happens is that when this money comes to Xeno, it does not reflect on our balance sheet. So this means that this money is going to be held in custody. So there's a structure on which we follow when we're making these investments. So unit trust funds are structured in a way that there's security for the investor. Actually, the participating members in the unit trust are the owners of the fund. So Xeno is the sponsor and fund manager. When this money comes in, it's held in custody with Stanbic Bank. And in this case, we've partnered with Stanbic. So it's held in custody. And money that is on a custodian account in a bank, it's off the bank's balance sheet. This money is invested. So your risk would be at the point of where the money is invested. So what Xeno does then is to do investment research, analysis, and the decision to make on behalf of the customers. And then besides that, we also have a corporate trustee. In this case, we are working with KCB Bank, and their role is to give oversight of how we are managing the fund, how is Xeno managing the money. And then we also report to the regulator. On a monthly basis, we renew our licenses every year. So this is a licensed fund. It's not like we are doing it on our own. It's licensed and regulated. We're using unit trusts to invest. And the customer should be comfortable to know that when my money is with Xeno, should I need it, you can take it any day. We don't lock you in. You can access this money within 2 to 3 business days. We are regulated. Your money is off our balance sheet. Even if Xeno closed today, we will not go with your money. Your money is going to be off our balance sheet, so Xeno can close, and then they appoint a new fund manager to continue with the investment.
That takes me to the next question. Worst case scenario, Xeno goes bankrupt. Then what happens? What's the way forward?
So we've actually seen a few fund managers leaving and exiting the market, but no investor loses money because collective investments have a segmented way of doing things. The fund manager only does investment analysis. There's someone who holds the money. So Bank of Uganda gives a few banks the custodial license to hold this money that is going to be invested. So what Xeno does is just to give instructions that this money that came in today, invest it in treasury bills, invest it in bonds, invest it in equities, and then should customers want their money, as the fund manager, we are able to give you your daily assessment to show you how much you've earned for that particular day. So should the customer want out at any given point, you just initiate a withdrawal and money is paid back to your account. So even if we went bankrupt, it has nothing to do with assets that are coming from the investors. We are currently managing 36 billion. But of the 36 billion, it does not mean that that is Xeno's money. We only charge management fees, and our management fees are between 1.5 to 2%. Depending on which funds you're investing in. Annually. So that's how we gain. So Xeno charges fees. And after those fees, whatever is made is given back to the investors.
Wow. It makes people's investing easier, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what about, are there any taxes involved that you have to pay as Xeno?
Yes. So currently, we are using tax-exempt unit trusts. Our Income Tax Act exempts investments that are done through collective investment schemes. At least for now, we're still investing with the tax exemption, but maybe in future, in case the exemption is taken away, then yes. But for now, it's tax exempt. So all the investments that are done, we give back everything that has been made. After our fees, we just pay everything to the customer without withholding the tax.
Oh, yes. Thankless to you. Okay, so I read that about Xeno and Beyond Capital Ventures and Xeno being the 5th investment.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about that?
That's very awesome. You know, given that we are a startup, Xeno was founded in Uganda by a Ugandan. And being a startup, when I look at 5 years ago, how we started.
Oh, you started 5 years ago?
Yes.
And I just got to find out about you guys this year.
You know? So it's 5 years ago. And being a startup, of course, then we reached out to other organizations like Beyond Capital that have the same dream like we have. Because when you look at the fund itself, it looks at supporting fintechs or companies that are actually solving a problem, and we have aligned goals. So we want to make financial services very accessible to everybody.
Yes.
So we found that we had aligned goals. So then they found it important and necessary to invest in the company. So that is also going to see us expound and go to new markets.
Yes.
So the fund is not just to expound on Uganda, but you're going to see Xeno in Kenya, you're going to see Xeno in West Africa, you're going to see Xeno covering the entire continent.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really amazing.
That's brilliant. And it being a Ugandan baby, this is very good news for us.
True.
So Xeno is a fintech, yes? So I know there's very many challenges that fintechs face. And can you share with us some that, especially the fintechs in Africa, the challenges that they face and how you think that they can be tackled for a greater future and easier, smooth running of fintechs in Africa?
Yes. So the main one, I would say it's trust. So people fail
Trust from the people, or
from the people to the companies that are actually giving these solutions. So you find that there's a lot of education that is needed. Currently, we are backing onto education because when you come to, let's say, investments, not everybody knows that they can invest as little as 10,000
anywhere,
shillings.
anytime.
So we find it a challenge that there's a lot of education that needs to be done.
Yes.
Because people know how to make money and they only know how maybe to save it at home in a box or at the bank. And that's it.
Yes.
So we face a challenge of education and we are really investing a lot of our time and our resources to ensure that the masses are educated, that you can actually invest money. We invented the USSD where you can invest without using internet.
Yes.
So that was a big challenge where people would want to invest, but they don't have access to internet. So now,
especially in the villages as well.
Yes. So for now, what Xeno has done is you're able to use our USSD platform with MTN, which is you dial *165 *5 *7 hash, and you're able to select a goal. So it's the first goal-based investment USSD solution that has ever happened on the African continent. Whoa. So you're able to actually invest without internet. All you need is have your MTN number, you dial *165 *5 *7 hash, you select a goal, you invest as little as $3.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't know what to say, but why are you going to broaden to other networks as well in the long run?
Yes, actually we are having conversations with other telecoms.
Okay, that's
but
perfect.
MTN actually really saw this as a value add to their customers. And because they're looking at giving solutions and making their customers happier. So people have been having money on mobile money and they'll keep it there for months. So then they say, okay, can we partner with Xeno to become our fund manager so that any MTN customer, they are able to actually go ahead and invest these savings instead of leaving their money redundant on the account because we have inflation that erodes the value of money over time. So kudos to MTN for actually partnering with us and making this available to all their users. And yes, we'll still have engagements with other telecoms to make it available to more and more Ugandans and other people that would want to have their access to the service.
Yeah, so for the people who are abroad, they just have to have an internet connection and everything can happen smoothly.
Yes.
Okay, so blockchain and crypto. So are you, as Xeno, embracing any of those, infiltrating that in your system to actually use for investments?
So for now, no. But as a leader in technology, we are really we are forward thinking. Yes. So it's not like we're not seeing these things happening. But because we're a regulated fund, we are only allowed to invest within the financial assets. So probably at the point where our government will start regulating blockchain or regulating cryptocurrencies, at that point we'll be ready as a company. But yes, we are technology based, so it's not like we are not seeing all these things happen. Yeah. So we believe that if blockchain is the future,
it
happens to be the future.
Yeah, but the only problem is that maybe the fluctuations as well.
Yeah, of course, it's very risky, and you don't want to start there. And as a regulated fund, we are not allowed for now to go ahead and invest in cryptocurrencies.
All right.
Yes.
How is Xeno actually, what systems is Xeno putting in place to beat the test of time to ensure its continuity and all that?
Okay, so what we do at Xeno is we are problem solvers. We look at what the challenge is and then we create a solution. The beauty with Xeno is that we've built all our technology in-house. So we have engineers that are actually building all this that we're using, the robo-advisor, the simulator. Away from the technology, it's the team itself, making sure that you're having forward-thinking people that are actually creating all these solutions that are relevant and needed by the masses. When you look at financial services, especially when you look at investment, it's not an area that we've embraced a lot in Africa.
In Africa, yeah.
So people know how to save money, people know how to make money. People have not learned that you can actually earn passive income through investing in financial assets. So we believe that through our innovativeness and making sure that we're giving customers the right value, through having the best well thought portfolio mixes where we're able to actually invest correctly and right in terms of helping our customers attain their goals. We believe that this is a solution that can stay for a very long time. It's relevant not only for now, it will still be relevant. People need to grow their money. People need to invest for different financial goals. So we've created a solution that is going to outlive ourselves.
Okay, so you as the Vice President of Advisory at Xeno, what markets or where would you advise someone in the diaspora to invest in, maybe like in Uganda or East Africa, since Xeno is basically the East African community?
Yeah, so for anybody in the diaspora, I'll just encourage you that, first of all, make sure that where you're investing is a safe place, because the different investments out there that will give you very high risk exposure. So where we invest is regulated. You're able to invest this money back home in Uganda or Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda. We will still expand. Very soon we'll be expanding and going to new markets. But it's very safe you investing with us because, like I had explained earlier, your money is secured. It's off our balance sheet. We invest it on a daily basis. We give you the tools to monitor this money. You're able to see how your money is growing as at yesterday. The interest that is accruing on this account is actually reinvested, so it also makes you more money. So we believe that by you investing with Xeno, your funds are secure. The returns may not be very high because you find that we are investing in low-risk investments. So you're looking at a return of between 9 to 15%, and these rates keep fluctuating depending on the investment environment, depending on how the assets are performing. But as Xeno, we'll make sure that we're giving you the best guidance, we're doing the best analysis, we're doing the best investments. Should you need this money, you can get it back. So you don't have to wait until you come back home. You're able to actually send this money through. And for you to validate us, you can visit the CMA website. You look out for the regulated fund managers. That's how you'll know who the right person you can talk to when it comes to investments. You can visit our website. That's www.myxeno.com. Check us out and ask us those questions that would make you maybe uncomfortable. We'll be able to answer them. We have advisors that are actually ready to speak with you, understand your goals, understand your constraints, so that you're just keeping money somewhere and it's not growing. Inflation, we are seeing inflation raising too high now. If your money is not growing, it's going to be eroded. If you have 100,000 today, in 3 years, you'll need more money to actually get the same quantity of goods that you would have maybe bought in this particular year. So moving your money through time means invest it today, so that by the time you need it in the future, it still has the same value or even more value, so that you don't have to worry about moving your money through time by investing it. So invest your money, don't just save it.
Okay. So most people may say that Africa is still virgin land and untapped. As you said, we are still new in this investment thing. But the Western world has gone through all this, and there's been so many mistakes they've made. So what can we as Africa and fintech learn from them? What mistakes did they make that we shouldn't do in this angle?
So when it comes to investment, let me first look at the African problem. So we have the black tax, where you earn and you're spending everything and forgetting about yourself, where you have to take care of so many dependents. So that's one. That's a very huge problem that we face in Africa. And then secondly is investing in fixed assets. For everything that an African knows, they're either thinking of buying land, building a house, fixed assets. We need to plan for liquidity. We need to plan for security. We need to plan for growth. So those things, the way you invest for a short-term goal should be different from how you're investing for a long-term goal. If you're planning for an emergency account, why would you buy land for emergencies? That now makes you go ahead and start borrowing money. So an emergency account is where you invest in liquid assets, like the Xeno way of investing. You put in your money when you need it. When an emergency happens, you're able to actually liquidate and take care of the emergency.
Yeah, but I think that's a perk that Xeno has, because you can actually have different goals in one account. So if someone has an emergency goal, but they also want to save for building wealth or to buy a house, they can still do that.
Very true.
Reiterate that to them, please.
Yes, so at Xeno, you're able to invest for multiple goals. You can invest for your long-term goals like retirement. You can also create a second account, which is going to be, let's say, funding your child's education.
Yes.
It's always good to plan for your financial goals differently, because the way you mix assets for a long-term goal, it's totally different from how you invest in a short-term goal. A short-term goal, you need to be conservative, low risk, because you'll need this money within a year or two. Then when you're planning for retirement, something you'll need in 10 years, 8 years from now, then there you can be moderately aggressive or very aggressive, where you now get exposure to assets like stocks and equities that are volatile, but over the long run.
Yeah, and you invest in all that on behalf of the...
You're able to actually have different portfolio allocations on the platform. So one can be conservative, you're doing bonds and money markets. Then the other can have a bit of stocks, both within East Africa, in Uganda, and then you're able to also have a bit of bonds. And at Xeno, you actually can tell us how you want us to mix your assets. So we are your go-to fund manager when it comes to personalization. We listen to you. You're able to adjust your risk appetite or tolerance every 6 months, should you want to increase it higher or decrease it, depending on the time. So we give you all those tools that make it very personalized to your needs.
All right, so tell us where you actually see Xeno in the next 5.
Wow. I see Xeno as the market leader on the continent.
Ooh.
When it comes to investments, we're currently helping close to 25,000 people to plan, save, and invest. I'm seeing Xeno taking over the entire continent because we have made these solutions easily accessible to anybody. And we plan to open in new markets. We believe that it's not just, we've actually proved that in the last 5 years, we've outperformed in this market. Yes. We've had the best team that is making the decisions on investments. The analysis is good. When you come to the platform, it is seamless and beautiful. You're able to actually plan and save. Not so many fund managers are doing this. Yes, so I really see Xeno being number one. I know we are number one in terms of...
On the continent?
Yes, on the continent.
Are you competing with West Africa as a fintech?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
yes, we are. That's why we are attracting the likes of Beyond Capital.
Oh,
yes.
That's actually very true. Okay, do you have any last remarks, maybe advice for our viewers?
Okay, thank you so much. Whoever is listening to me today, it's never too late to start investing. We've told you with as little as $3.
Investing in Africa, back home.
Back home, yes. It's never too late. Every time you invest here, you're able to actually boost the economy. You're able to grow your money. You're able to come back home to something. So you can trust us to be your fund managers. You're able to track and see how much has come onto your account. You're able to see the money you've sent through. You're able to see, like, it is 24/7 tracking. You can visit your account, or you can create the account using the website, but you can track using an app. We also have the USSD platform, but that one is for people
Ugandan.
that are back here at home. But you're able to really have the tools to monitor. You're able to have the transparency that you would need as an investor. So investing back home is very good. I know you have all these options outside there because there are these mutual funds, there are these ETFs. So we are doing it also here at home. We have unit trust funds where you're able to invest. We pool your money with other investors. You're able to track and you can access this money. We can actually send it back to your account in whichever country you're in. So it doesn't limit you. You're able to invest back here, but you're also able to receive this money back in whichever country you're in.
And the best part is that Xeno has an app.
And we have an app. So you can also follow and check how your account is working using the app as well. So, yeah.
Okay.
No excuses. It's very affordable. $3, really?
You can save $3 a day.
Yes, you can save $3 a day.
Yes.
True.
So I also want to say thank you that you allowed, you graced us with your presence. And I also want to give a shout out to Café de Pau for having us here in this nice space. And in case you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, everything. Follow your heart. And till next time, Kinganda.